Okay, here's an example if you feel like you are advanced enough to move on. If we are given the system negative 4x plus y equals 6 and negative 5x minus y equals 21, and we want to solve using substitution, notice that there's no isolated variable. So that means we have to choose one of these equations to isolate the variable in. And actually, I'm going to choose the top one because, so I could choose y on either of them because the y is pretty much by itself. However, the top one, it's positive, which is exactly what I want the y to be at the very end. This one I would have had to do an extra step getting rid of the negative in order to get that one isolated. So, let me get a different color for this. Stick with green, but different color. If I wanted to isolate the y in this equation, I would start by adding 4x to both sides. So that's y, and again it's positive y, so no need to bring it down here, equals 6 plus 4x. Because x and 6 cannot be put together. So here now we have an isolated variable. We have y as the isolated variable. So y equals 6 plus 4x, and bring the other one down. Negative 5x minus y equals 21. So next step is to take this and substitute for y, since y is the isolated one. So it's going to go in there. So now the equation is going to look like negative 5x minus 6 plus 4x equals 21. Now we solve for x, beginning by distributing. Remember, there's that imaginary 1 right here. So that's negative 6. That's negative 4x. Everything else is going to follow. Now we combine our like terms, which are those two right there. And they're on the same side of the equal sign, so that's negative 9x. Everything else follows. Now we have a two-step equation, sorry. So we got to get the x completely isolated. So we're going to start by adding 6 to both sides. That's negative 9x equals 27. And lastly, divide by negative 9. So that's x equals negative 3. Now that I have my x value, I'm going to go back to my original equation and substitute negative 3 in for x. And I can go ahead and use this one as opposed to one of these up here because it's the same thing, I just rewrote it. So that's y equals 6 plus 4 parentheses negative 3. And then we solve. Y equals 6 minus 12. Y equals negative 6. So we have my two answers. So my overall solution is negative 3, negative 6. Now, before we finish off, we did this through substitution by having to do this extra step up here. However, before Thanksgiving break, we discussed that if it's in standard form, the easiest thing to probably do is elimination. So I just want to show you what that elimination would have looked like had we chosen to do elimination. I'll focus in a little bit. Oh, I focused myself. So if I had done elimination, notice my y's are 0 pairs, so they're easy to eliminate. We have negative 9x equals 27. Divide by negative 9. X equals negative 3. Substitute into the original one. Negative 4, negative 3, plus y equals 6. That's positive 12 plus y equals 6 minus 12 on both sides. Y equals negative 6. And my solution, negative 3, negative 6. So really, it is up to you which method to use. Substitution, you just had to do that extra step of isolating one of the variables, or elimination. Me, I would have gone with this one, just because it's easy to eliminate right there.